Hey guys, I've got a little video for you today about the XP Pen Artist 15.6 Pro. They were kind enough to actually send me this product to give it a go, have a try, see what I thought, and let you guys know. So I'm going to go through an unboxing. I'm going to go through a little bit of a background on my history with tablets and things like that. And then we're going to get into doing some artwork and see how it goes. So first of all, foremost, I will say the last time I used a tablet display like this, it was the Wacom Cintiq 21UX, and I bought that in 2011, I think, for $3,500. It's huge. It's much bigger than this, and it's also thick and heavy with a lot of cables. So that thing is really old and it just gathers dust. So after I stopped using that, I moved on to the iPad Pro. Now I've been using that for about 3 years now or something. And I'm very happy with that. So I'm definitely not leaving the iPad, but I was very keen to try out something else. I think it's very important as artists to not just be stuck to one tool set. It's important to just try other things sometimes, just to see what you like. And yeah, so that's why I wanted to try this out. So first and foremost, it is 15.6 inches, so it is quite small in terms, well, compared to what I previously used to. But it's bigger than an iPad, so that's a plus for me. I'll just bring this a bit closer if you can see that. So it's actually really quite light. I'm not quite sure how much it weighs, but you know, tablets have come a long way in the last 5 years. While I haven't been using them, they've gotten better. I believe XP Pen is quite a fairly new company that is making these tablets and these pen displays for a more affordable price, which is something that is very desirable to artists like myself, who we don't have like a bucket ton of money to just spend on the latest Wacoms, may I say. Wacoms are amazing products, but they're also very, very expensive. So it's nice that at least we have an option to have something like this, because a pen display for an artist, like I was waiting to get one of these, my first Wacom Cintiq, for so many years. I mean, it was such a big investment. The only option was Wacom in 2011, as far as I was aware. You know, $3,500 later, that was a hefty price. So I'll have to edit this video with the actual price of this because I'm not quite sure. I think it's probably around between $400 and something. I'll have to double check that. But yes. I'm back, so I've double checked and I was right. It is 439 Australian dollars, which is actually like so cheap. So cheap to think that I paid $3,500 for my first Wacom Cintiq. It's amazing that these things are affordable for students now. I mean, I'm not saying everybody can afford that, but it's definitely more affordable than it was before, which is really cool. Now, I'm not really going to give it an in-depth product review because that's not really what I'm very good at. I don't know the technical terms about anything. I am terribly ignorant about all the technology, but I do know if it works, and that's what I'm going to show you. Does it work for me? Why and why does it not? The display itself is really quite light. The screen surface is really, it's nice actually. I'm actually used to the iPad now, so the iPad is very glassy. It's a very hard, glassy surface, and that's the one thing that I really don't like about the iPad, because using it so often for long periods of time can get really quite annoying, I suppose, because it's just so hard and unnatural. So, you know, that's a con for the iPad. But for this, the screen is not, it's not glass. It doesn't feel like glass. It's shiny and it's like a little slippery, but it's got a more tactile feel to it, which I really liked. So that was cool. Unfortunately, the cables that it came with, which I don't have handy on me, it plugs in via USB, but then I couldn't plug it into my iMac because my iMac does not have a USB cable. It only has like something like Thunderbolt thing, and if I'm going to use this on my iMac, I need an adapter of sorts. And like I said before, I don't really know much of anything, so I can't even tell you what adapter to get. I'm going to have to do some research myself to make sure that I can get the right adapter to make it work on here. Luckily, I had a Windows laptop handy that I could use this product with. So just keep that in mind if you have an iMac. Now it comes with a stand, which is this. So you just pop it out like that, click it out. That took me a little while to figure out, believe it or not. Unfortunately, it's just one angle. There's one tilt, that's it. So that's a little bit disappointing because, you know, everybody's different. Everybody likes different kind of ways of drawing. So that's a little disappointing, but I found it okay. You just have to kind of adjust to it. If you really want, you could probably put a little book underneath here. Not exactly ideal, but it could work. The other thing it comes with is a glove, which I thought that was really cool. I mean, I don't know if other tablets and stuff come with these things anymore, but I had to buy mine separately years ago, and they're so handy, no pun intended. They're just really good to be able to not have, like, if you get sweaty palms or whatever, and you're going to get stuck to the surface, and that's just like, if you want to try and do nice, smooth lines, you're going to need one of these gloves. So the stylus itself comes in this little tube, which is pretty cool. Just untwist this. Pull the pen out, and then you can just place it in there like that. The pen's okay. I mean, it's really light. It's thinner than I think my previous Wacom stylus, so that was cool. One thing that you might notice when we get to the artwork later on is that I've set my undo to this button here. So I'm trying to use this button every now and again. Let me just put that up there. So yeah, it's got like two buttons there. I found it quite hard because I was never really keeping the button underneath my finger. You know, perhaps that's user error. I mean, it is user error, but naturally I'm just like always moving around, so I don't know how you could fix that, but I felt like I was losing the button every time I wanted it. I had to like stop and be like, oh, where's the button? Oh, undo. Okay. So, yeah, but all in all, it's like it does the job, and it's pretty good. Now, on the other side, we have nibs. I'm a bit confused about how this works. I actually have no idea how this works at all. How do you even get them out? Oh wait, okay. You just gotta use your nail and like pull them out. But yeah, so there's like plenty of replacement nibs in there. I found the design of this actually pretty stupid, to be honest, because I'm an extremely clumsy person, and well, you can't see, but it's a little bit wobbly, like just to have it like so easy to knock over, and then it's round, so it's gonna like roll away and everything. So that was kind of annoying. It's not too bad, I suppose, once you've got the pen out. That's fine, I suppose. It's fine like that. So it comes with a variety of buttons. which are all programmable to do various different things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buttons and a dial. So that's pretty cool. I programmed them for a variety of different things. I think I had this with zooming in and out, panning around. I'm trying to remember now. Oh yes, this one was switch between brush and eraser. And then the top 2 buttons were brush, enlarge and brush, and decrease size brush. So that's kind of what I had. I didn't really bother with the buttons down the bottom just yet. That just brings me on to another thing. Like, I haven't actually done any digital artwork on a computer, on a desktop, in Photoshop or in Clip Studio Paint or any other software apart from the iPad and Procreate for years. So it was quite a big learning curve just to try and produce some work in an environment that I'm not used to. A lot of it came naturally because I've been using Photoshop to do artwork for my entire career. So, 10, 12 years I was using Photoshop. So there's a lot of things I still remembered, but there was also a lot of things that had changed. So that kind of slowed me down a little bit, and it was a little hard to get into. And of course the button mapping on the product, all that sort of stuff. You really just have to stick with it, and eventually the more artwork you do with this product and in Photoshop and with your button mapping, it'll become memorized in your brain. It'll just become second nature. I'm not quite at that point yet, but I've only done one artwork. So by the end of that artwork, I kind of did to get into the groove of it. I knew where all my features and my buttons were, so it started to work out for me. So let's get into the artwork. hope you liked that, guys. I had a lot of fun actually, although there was quite a learning curve involved with getting back into Photoshop and using the programmable buttons again. I did eventually kind of get into a groove, and I'm happy with the artwork that I produced, so hope you guys like it as well. And for my final thoughts, I'm probably missing a lot of technical details and things about the product. So I recommend, if you're interested in this product, I recommend doing another search and going to find another video that's like much more in-depth about the specifics. The only other thing that I actually wanted to mention was the pressure sensitivity and maybe some of the specs on the back of the box. So with the pressure sensitivity, I didn't really notice anything bad about it whatsoever. So whether it's good or not from a technical standpoint, I don't really know. I can't really remember what my previous Wacom Cintiq had, or even what the iPad and Apple Pencil have. I don't actually know. But what I do know is that using this product, I felt like it was just fine. Like I didn't really think, oh wow, I need more pressure or anything like that. So it didn't really come into my thought process personally. It does say here that it has 8,192 levels of pressure sensitivity. So there you go, take that for what it's worth. The screen size is 1920 by 1080 pixels. So, it's okay. It's pretty good. It's not like 4K or anything, but it'll do the job. There's plenty of other things you can look into if that's your thing. But yeah, so I think if you're in a limited budget, you can't afford a more expensive tablet, I think this should definitely be an option for you. I can't vouch for how they work in the long run. I've only had it for a couple of weeks and I haven't used it that much. And one should hope that it lasts quite a number of years, but who knows? Maybe I'll do another video in a few years and we'll see if it still holds up. But until then, I'm probably going to dabble on it here and then. In closing comment, for me personally, it's not going to replace my iPad. My iPad is just a superior product in general. It's faster. I don't particularly like working in Photoshop anymore. I've been using Procreate for like 2 or 3 years for my professional work, and I use it because I love it, because it's like there is so many things it does better than Photoshop and than desktop software. Having said that though, if that's not an option for you and you really want to work on the desktop and you don't have a lot of money, I think this is a very good, very solid option. It works great. You saw the artwork that I made with it. I didn't really have any particular troubles apart from the learning curve, which is something that you can get very used to. The more repetition you do, the more you use this product, the more you drool with it. It's just going to come second nature. And on that note, I'm going to head off, but I hope to get back soon and press some more videos with some new artwork, not particularly product reviews, that's not really my thing, but I hope you guys enjoyed this anyway. It's interesting to try new things, so I had a little bit of fun, but I'm keen to get back to drawing and releasing more content for you guys. So until next time, thanks guys.